Port Charles has always been a town where secrets live longer than people expect, where love is both a weapon and a shield, and where the past never truly stays buried. Yet even by General Hospital standards, the storm now gathering feels darker, more personal, and infinitely more dangerous. At the center of it all stands Mayor Laura Collins, a woman who has survived dictators, assassins, political scandals, and the devastating losses that only Port Charles can deliver. She is strong, principled, and endlessly compassionate. But even the strongest hearts have a breaking point. That breaking point has a name: Ace Cassadine. And lurking just beyond the shadows, smiling with calculated patience, is Sidwell, armed with a backup plan so cruel, so morally bankrupt, that it threatens to shatter Laura, the Cassadines, and the fragile peace of Port Charles forever. Laura Collins is not new to tragedy. Her life has been shaped by it. From her early days as a young woman caught in Luke Spencer's orbit, to becoming the moral compass of Port Charles, Laura has endured kidnappings, betrayals, political pressure, and the unbearable grief of losing children. She has learned how to compartmentalize pain, how to make impossible decisions for the greater good, and how to carry the weight of an entire city on her shoulders. As mayor, Laura has become a symbol of stability. She stands for transparency, justice, and compassion, even when those values cost her personally. She has stared down Cassadine tyrants, mob kings, and corrupt power brokers without flinching. But Ace Cassadine is different. Ace isn't a political problem or a criminal threat. He isn't a headline waiting to happen. Ace is family. Innocent. Vulnerable. And loving him means risking everything Laura has built. Ace Cassadine is the quiet miracle no one expected. Born into the most infamous family in Port Charles history, Ace represents something the Cassadines rarely produce: hope. He is a living symbol of what the family could be, free from obsession, cruelty, and ruthless ambition. To Laura, Ace isn't just her grandson. He is a second chance. Laura sees Ace as redemption incarnate. Where Nicholas faltered, where Spencer struggled under the weight of legacy, Ace offers the possibility of a clean slate. Laura's love for Ace is unconditional, fierce, and deeply protective. She isn't naive. She knows the Cassadine name paints a target on his back. But she believes love and vigilance can shield him. What Laura doesn't fully realize is that Ace is already the most valuable bargaining chip in Port Charles. And Sidwell knows it. Sidwell isn't loud. He doesn't announce his intentions with explosions or dramatic monologues. He is patient, methodical, and deeply unsettling precisely because he understands people better than they understand themselves. Sidwell studies weakness the way others study maps. To him, Laura Collins is not a mayor or a moral authority. She is a mother, a grandmother, a woman whose compassion can be exploited. Sidwell has watched Laura sacrifice personal happiness for the greater good again and again. He has learned her patterns, her limits, and her vulnerabilities. Ace Cassadine sits at the center of Sidwell's calculations. At first, Sidwell's plan seemed almost restrained: political pressure, whispered threats, subtle manipulation. He tested Laura's resolve, nudged her toward compromises, and waited for her to blink. She didn't. That's when Sidwell activated his backup plan. Sidwell's backup plan is not about violence, at least not in the traditional sense. It is about psychological devastation. Sidwell intends to turn Ace into leverage. Not through harm, but through fear. He understands that Laura would endure almost anything herself, but she would never forgive herself if Ace were put at risk. Sidwell's plan hinges on destabilizing Ace's safety and sense of belonging, creating situations that suggest danger without crossing lines that would immediately expose him. Anonymous threats. Suspicious surveillance. Carefully planted rumors about custody challenges. Legal maneuvers designed to separate Ace from those protecting him. Sidwell wants Laura living in constant dread, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And the worst part? It's working. Laura now stands at the crossroads she has spent her entire life trying to avoid. If she continues to stand firm against Sidwell, Ace becomes a target, emotionally, legally, psychologically. Sidwell will never touch the child directly, but he will make Laura believe he could at any moment. If Laura compromises, if she bends the rules, shields Sidwell's activities, or looks the other way, Ace remains safe. At least for now. Laura knows what that kind of deal costs. She has seen it destroy lives before. Compromise becomes complicity. Silence becomes corruption. Yet when she looks at Ace, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the war being waged around him, Laura feels her resolve cracking. Ace is her true weakness. The Cassadines have always believed love is a liability. For generations, they ruled through fear, control, and emotional detachment. Vulnerability was punished. Compassion was exploited. Laura herself has fought that ideology tooth and nail, determined to raise a new generation unshackled from the family's darkness. Sidwell's plan threatens to revive the Cassadine curse in a horrifying new way. By forcing Laura to choose between moral integrity and protecting Ace, Sidwell is recreating the very conditions that destroyed so many Cassadines before her. The difference is that Laura is aware of the trap, and still may be powerless to escape it. This is what makes Sidwell truly dangerous. He doesn't want power for power's sake. He wants to break people. Laura's growing anxiety doesn't go unnoticed. Kevin senses the strain immediately. He recognizes the signs: hypervigilance, emotional withdrawal, the weight of a secret she refuses to share. As a psychiatrist and a husband, Kevin knows Laura is nearing a breaking point, but even he struggles to reach her. Spencer, ever perceptive, begins to sense something is wrong. His protective instincts toward Ace kick into overdrive, and his old Cassadine rage threatens to resurface. Spencer is willing to fight dirty if it means keeping Ace safe, exactly the reaction Sidwell anticipates. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos watches from a distance, recognizing the familiar shape of an impossible dilemma. Sonny knows what it means to protect family at all costs, and the price that philosophy exacts. He offers Laura quiet support, but no easy answers. Port Charles is bracing for impact. As Laura hesitates, Sidwell escalates. A legal challenge emerges questioning Ace's guardianship arrangements. A social worker makes an unexpected visit. A trusted caregiver suddenly resigns under suspicious circumstances. None of these actions are illegal. All of them are devastating. Sidwell ensures Laura knows, without ever saying it outright, that these are only the beginning. He wants her exhausted, isolated, and desperate enough to come to him willingly. And he is prepared to go further. Sidwell's ultimate backup plan involves framing Ace's environment as unstable, creating a paper trail that could justify removing him for his own safety. The irony is monstrous, Sidwell positioning himself as the solution to the very danger he creates. The moment Laura realizes Sidwell is willing to dismantle Ace's world piece by piece, something inside her shifts. This is no longer about politics. This is no longer about power. This is about survival. Laura begins to consider options she once dismissed: secret alliances, quiet investigations, even bending the truth. She hates herself for it, but she loves Ace more. The tragedy of Laura Collins has always been that her greatest strength, her capacity for love, is also her greatest vulnerability. Sidwell has finally found the crack in her armor. A dangerous countermove. But Laura Collins is not defenseless. Even as fear threatens to consume her, Laura begins to plan. She reaches out discreetly to those she trusts most, assembling a silent coalition determined to protect Ace without surrendering to Sidwell's demands. Kevin brings his clinical insight. Spencer brings his fire. Sonny brings his resources. And Laura brings her unbreakable will. Together, they begin to trace Sidwell's moves backward, searching for the proof that could expose him. It's a race against time. One misstep could trigger Sidwell's final play. The question isn't whether Sidwell can be stopped. It's whether Ace can remain unscathed in the process. Ace, blissfully unaware, becomes the emotional epicenter of the unfolding drama. Laura watches him more closely now, memoizing his laughter, his small gestures, his absolute trust in the adults around him. Every smile feels fragile. Every moment feels borrowed. This is the cruelty of Sidwell's plan. Even if Laura wins, the damage may already be done. Fear has crept into the spaces where joy once lived. And Laura knows something else, something she can barely admit even to herself. If forced to choose between Ace and Port Charles, she will choose Ace. General Hospital is setting the stage for a deeply emotional, psychologically intense storyline that strikes at the core of its legacy: family, power, and the cost of love. Ace Cassadine is not just a child. He is the future Laura has fought for. He is the proof that the Cassadine name doesn't have to mean destruction. Sidwell's horrible backup plan isn't about winning, it's about ensuring that even in defeat, Laura loses something irreplaceable. As Port Charles braces for the fallout, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. When you threaten a child, you awaken a fury no villain can fully control. And Laura Collins may be on the verge of becoming more dangerous than Sidwell ever anticipated. Because when a grandmother's love becomes a weapon, no one is safe.